Obviously, his play speaks for itself, but I will say this: we're really excited, not only for next year, but the years to come. I mean, he's playing at such a high level that he always has. This year was a special year. It didn't finish like we wanted to finish, but I think everybody's purely motivated to get back. And I think, like I said, I don't think there's anything that we have to do. He's our quarterback and he's our leader.
Absolutely, he will be here for a long time. I know I said that before, but for a long time.
All right, so that's what they had to say. Meanwhile, here's a former Packer offensive lineman, T.J. Lang, who said, quote, "I don't think he wants to go anywhere, but I think he's going to hold their feet to the fire and say, hey, if you're going to keep me around, you're going to pay me and you're going to bring in some players that I want to play with where we can take this next leap." So that's a former teammate and friend. Let's get to the squad here, and let me start, Graziano, with you. What is your sense as you talk to people around the league about the way they can say all the things they want? How does this look to you?
Yeah, we're going to find out. Look, to T.J. Lang's first point, if the Packers make an adjustment to Aaron Rodgers' contract, and again, we don't know for a fact this is what he wants, but if they make an adjustment to his contract, which has 3 years left on it, to guarantee more of the remaining money, then we'll know that they're backing up their talk. He's going to be here a long time. If they don't, then they're leaving themselves the option to switch to Jordan Love at some point, who they took in the first round last year. And the Packers usually like to leave themselves flexibility. So we'll find out about that if they make an alteration to the contract this offseason. To T.J. Lang's second point, this notion that the Packers need to go out and bring in more guys is just not supported by facts. They're 13-3 each of the last 2 years. The fact that they lost the NFC Championship game does not mean that they didn't have enough good pieces around Aaron Rodgers or that they should have done better in last year's draft. The Packers operate a certain way, and I believe will continue to operate a certain way, and I don't think they're going to forsake their long-term picture for short-term gain anytime soon, especially considering how good they've actually been the last couple of years.
That is fair. They've been really good for a really long time, in large part because they've had back-to-back first-ballot Hall of Fame quarterbacks over the last 30 years, but have only 2 championships to show for it. So, Jeff Saturday, as you listen to all of that, what did you take away from it?
T.J. Lang is dead on. I mean, listen, and I get everything that Dan is saying about what the Packers have done. They are going to change suit. They're going to give him another contract. They're going to show we're committed to you. They're going to break what their plan was for Love. We talked about when he drafted. I was like, look, Love better be on the bench, man, because that's where he's going to be unless Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. This guy is playing at an all-star level. He's going to be an MVP again. You're looking at him. I think he wants more of what Tom Brady got in Tampa, right? Is when you get there, you saw them bring in Gronk and Brown and guys that he wanted to play with. I think that's what Aaron is looking for, right? Is more conversations about a guy they're going to want to keep around and can help them take it to the next level. It's not only just about playing good, it's about playing with the guys you want to play with. Whether it's Lindsley, who's up, their center for a contract, you name it. Go through the list of guys, and I think at this point he's watching how teams have put teams together for their player for now. And here's the deal: if Aaron plays and they give him a 5-year deal and they won a Super Bowl or 2 in those 5 years, you've done the right thing by the organization. Whatever happens after that, you make do. But I think TJ's dead on, and I think they're going to break with the tradition of what the Packers have been in the past.
Swagger, you look skeptical. Why?
I just keep thinking about, first of all, I like the fact that they drafted Jordan Love, because they could be sitting here in the same situation the Steelers are in right now, trying to figure out what their future look like while trying to work cap numbers with their current quarterback. So I don't mind that. And I'm more in lane with Grimes. And G, I've been on that when this whole draft thing started. I was like, I don't see much the Green Bay Packers need. Yeah, you can upgrade positions, but every team probably can upgrade positions. You end up in the NFC Championship, and the fact is the Green Bay Packers for 2 years in a row did not get it done. The players did not get it done. That doesn't mean they're good. This is a 13-win football team again. So look, the bottom line is this. Aaron Rodgers wants security. Aaron Rodgers wants more players. That's it, G. I'm done talking about it. I ain't talking about Aaron Rodgers going anywhere. I ain't talking about what the possibility of him being traded or not want to be in Green Bay. Do what y'all want to do. But I would have loved to go to back-to-back NFC championships. I'm just saying.
That's fine. And maybe this is less about that than it is about the fact that Aaron Rodgers, with a team, once they drafted his replacement, he lost a lot of control over the future of his career. And I think this is about him trying to reclaim that control. I think this is about him saying to them, and Dan Graziano, I'm looking at you, you're not going to decide when you've had enough of me. You're not going to decide next year, well, if I don't play quite as well, we'll move on to Jordan Love. He's taking control of the narrative and saying, you want me to stay here and keep doing all of this? Well, then put your money where your mouth is long term. Make a commitment to me. I'll commit to you, and we're all good here. It may be less about players than it is about a player at this stage of his career taking control of his own situation.
Yeah, and that's speculative on our part, obviously, and on TJ Lang's, but we know because of his public comments that that's how Aaron Rodgers reacted to the drafting of Jordan Love. Oh, I wanted to spend my whole career here, and now I may not be able to do that, and it's not in my control. So, yeah, he could seek to get more guaranteed money on the contract, but I go back to a point I made last week. He's Aaron Rodgers. When you do the deal, get the guarantees. Don't come to me 2 years later and ask for guarantees. Like, I'm Aaron Rodgers. If you don't guarantee me the money, I'm not going to sign. What would the Packers have done if he had taken that stance? These guys need to think about that when they do the deals, not 2 years later.
All right, we will have more on this as we go. We'll have plenty of time to say more about this, but there are a million other quarterback situations, and let's get to some of those here. Graziano, running the hurry up, there were reports about the 49ers being interested in Kirk Cousins. What do we have?
Yeah, I mean, that's good dot connecting, right? Because Cousins and Kyle Shanahan have a relationship from their time together in Washington. If the 49ers decide to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, they can. The contract allows them to do that. And obviously, if the Vikings decide they want to move on from Cousins, is it crazy to imagine a scenario like what the Rams just did with Goff to get out of a contract? No. But again, one possibility of many for the 49ers if it goes that way. The Jets are looking, we know, as a possibility. Could they upgrade from Sam Darnold? They like Darnold. They could build around him. They could use all their draft picks to do that. Or they could make a run at Deshaun Watson. And I expect them to at least look into that and see what the price is when the Texans decide they want to talk about the Deshaun Watson price tags. I think the Jets are going to be in that mix. And I think, it's either that or stick with